Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 64 based on novel. So let's start. Old Ju, with the strength of the 8-star Do D and your status as a Do formation master, you have resisted all the powerhouses of the Xianling royal family. Xiao Yan was also surprised. According to what this old Jew said, the battle just now was a Dozian strong, 2 Do Emperor peak strong. As for the other strong, there must be a lot. In front of him, Elder Zhu actually resisted such a terrifying battle, with the strength of the 8-star Do D perfection level. According to Xiao Yang's perception, the 8-star Do Emperor perfection level is not enough to deal with a Dozian and 2 Do Emperor perfection level powerhouses. Then there is no doubt that the result is only one. Battle Formation Master. Few people know about this identity profession, even in Xiantian Santian where the powerhouses are like clouds, but it is undeniable that the identity of this Do Formation Master, if a powerful Do Formation Master, is comparable to that of a huge army. Because what Do Formation Masters are best at is not fighting alone, but fighting in groups. The most terrifying thing for Dojang Division is that in a real war, relying on his own strength, he can block the enemy's tens of thousands of troops, or the enemy's most powerful. This is the true horror of Do Formation Masters. In a battle, if the enemy's army or strong man is besieged and temporarily unable to escape, then it will undoubtedly play a decisive role in the battle. It's too strong. Xiao Yang's eyes also became dull. Obviously, he could feel it just from the words that Zhu Lao said in front of him. This Zhu Lao's body seemed to be somewhat exhausted, but it contained how powerful. This is the real battle formation master. Elder Zhu also said slowly. In that battle, by virtue of my identity as a battle formation master, I held back all the fighting power of the Xianling royal family, thus giving the Medusa family a chance to breathe, and with their thunderous counterattack, I also gave Xianling a chance to fight back. The unrecoverable damage to the Ling royal family. For this reason, the senior officials of the Xianling royal family are also furious and want to declare war on our burning incense pavilion in an all-round way. But how can the 9 super sects make the Xianling royal family succeed? Down. However, the Xianling royal family's hatred for us, the Incense Pavilion and the Medusa family, has not diminished in the slightest, and they even want to get rid of us at all costs. As for why Solomon has a good relationship with the Xianling royal family, I don't know. However, one thing is certain, this Solomon and the Xianling royal family must have some secrets secretly going on. Zhu Lao also said slowly. Returning the Xianling royal family and Solomon really. Xiao Yang also shook his head slightly, and then without hesitation, he spoke to Elder Zhu in front of him. Old Zhu, what are these things in your house? Xiao Yang also looked puzzled, but in fact Xiao Yang was asking the question. Don't ask. Ha ha, I don't believe you have only discovered your soul power at the emperor level. Zhu Lao also smiled slowly, and then he ignored Xiao Yang, but stared at the scrolls in front of him, which seemed to be in front of him. Thinking about something in general. The scrolls in front of you are also the same as the scrolls that generally record fighting skills, but the scrolls of this formation and the scrolls of fighting skills are two different things. Most of the scrolls that record fighting skills can be practiced by anyone, except for some fighting skills that have special restrictions or seals, but this scroll is different. If it's not a battle formation master, you won't be able to open the scroll of this formation. You can close your eyes and feel it carefully. Elder Zhu also said slowly, but looking at the scrolls in front of his eyes, there was an extremely gentle expression, as if these scrolls were his heirs. Yeah. Hearing this, Xiao Yang did as he said, slowly closed his eyes, and did not worry about anything else. After all, this is the Fenxiang Pavilion, and this is one of the most important people in the Fenxiang Pavilion, so he has no worries. Close your eyes. Don't use your soul power or spiritual power. Just rely on your intuition, and use your hands to touch and communicate with the scrolls in this room. Just when Xiao Yan was about to use his mental power to detect which scrolls were scrolls, Elder Zhu's voice was also slow. Appear slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan frowned slightly, and the next moment, he also slowly raised his hands, and then walked away towards a silver-colored array scroll in front of him. Because Xiao Yan is carrying 23 kinds of strange fires, his palm also has a temperature that is different from ordinary people. But when Xiao Yang's palm just touched the silver array scroll, the array scroll exuding silver rays of light, strangely it trembled, and the next moment, a silver ray of light on the formation scroll also appeared instantly from the circular formation scroll, and then the next moment, it also directly passed through Xiao Yang's arm that was in contact with the formation scroll. It was directly inserted into Xiao Yang's body. What is this? Xiao Yang was also startled, but he didn't panic in the slightest, but in Xiao Yang's perception, the silver formation scroll he just touched did not seem to be a simple formation scroll, but just now. What I have touched, if expected, is the core of the silver formation scroll. Array core. It is the core of a formation scroll, which controls the core of the formation, and is also qualified to display the formation tilde freely display and shrink. Elder Zhu, this is. Xiao Yang also said to Elder Zhu next to him after a brief thought to no avail. Hey, how does the silver formation core taste just now? Zhu Lao instead ignored Xiao Yang's question and asked directly. That silver light. It seems to be something that was originally left on the scroll of this formation. I don't know why it got into my body. Xiao Yang also murmured. After all, Xiao Yang also wanted to investigate, but the silver light, as soon as he entered Xiao Yang's body, he disappeared without a trace. No, you are sensing it carefully. Elder Zhu also shook his head, and then said to Xiao Yang. Huh? Hearing this, Xiao Yang also felt something in his body, and then his whole body suddenly burst out. This silver light is actually at Nigong Wan. The next moment, Xiao Yang also discovered the trace of the silver light that entered his body, but then Xiao Yang was also puzzled. How could this silver light enter him silently? Why don't you let yourself find out at the Nigong Wan? After all, he is now an emperor-level mortal-level soul force. Although he cannot detect thousands of miles on the Dudi continent due to all kinds of suppression, Xiao Yang can still detect it in a mere tens of miles. The core of this silver formation is the control center of this formation scroll. You can directly control it through your original inscription. Elder Zhu also said slowly. The core of this silver formation is actually standing in the Nigong Wan inside my body slowly. And looking at the appearance, it seems that he is very afraid of the magic core inscription hanging on my Nigong Wan. Xiao Yang also found something wrong. How? Have you absorbed the core of the silver formation? Elder Zhu also looked at Xiao Yang and asked. Absorb? Xiao Yang frowned upon hearing this, and then hesitated. How? Not absorbed. Old Zhu's voice also changed a bit, and then looked at Xiao Yang anxiously. No. The core of the silver formation seems to have stopped at the Nigong Wan in my body. Xiao Yang also said truthfully, after all, there is no need to hide this kind of thing. What? Don't tell me that you have condensed the inscription of your life. Elder Zhu just heard Xiao Yang's voice, and his face changed greatly, and then he said with a bit of anger. The rarity of dough formation masters is as precious as cleaning sand in the ocean, and the birth of a dough formation master must be a symbol of a peak powerhouse. As for the training of the battle formation master, the first and most important thing is to condense the core inscriptions. After all, only with the core inscriptions can the formations be condensed to attack the enemy, and then the next step of cultivation can be carried out. So this is also the reason why Elder Zhu's face changed greatly when he heard that Xiao Yan had condensed the core inscriptions of life. After all, the condensed inscriptions of life are no less important than the fighting qi exercises that he chose to practice. Once the condensed core inscriptions are wrong, or the condensed core inscriptions of life are too weak, then if you want to recondense other core inscriptions of life in the future, the difficulty is undoubtedly more difficult than reaching the sky. Moreover, if the condensed core inscription is too weak, it will greatly limit his future achievements. So this old Jew is also quite angry. "You kid is really worrying." Elder Zhu also snorted coldly, then stared at Xiao Yang. "Senior Zhu, I can't help it." Xiao Yang was also helpless, vaguely remembering the nameless old man at that time, and it was a last resort at that time, otherwise Xiao Yang would not have condensed the core inscription so easily. It was only vaguely condensed under unsolved conditions. "Summon out the core inscription of your life, and show it to me." Elder Zhu also changed his previous expression, and said to Xiao Yang again. Now that this kid has condensed the core inscription of life, then if he wants to recondensed, even Zhu Lao is helpless, and now he has to pray. The core inscription of life that this kid has condensed should not be too bad, otherwise it will not be too bad for the core of life. The strength of the inscription is related to the future cultivation of this Do formation master. Yeah. Xiao Yang also responded, and then closed the door. At the same time, a faint spiritual force slowly appeared in the room. Ha ha, this kid's mental strength has actually reached the level of nearly 6,000 core inscriptions. This really surprised me. Elder Zhu also said slowly. Then the next moment, before the voice of Zhu Lao, a pure white light also slowly flew out from Xiao Yang's body from the Ni Gong Wan. At the moment when the core inscription of Xiao Yang's divine movement appeared, all the scrolls in the room seemed to be as if the courtiers surrendered to the king. Numerous scrolls stood quietly, and they exuded an air of great respect. This is. When Elder Zhu saw the core inscription of life in front of Xiao Yang, his pupils shrank fiercely. Because even Zhu Lao's eyesight can't see the source of this core inscription. But one thing is certain, the strength of Xiao Yang's core inscription of life, and the core inscription of life that terrifies him are even worse. Old Zhu. Xiao Yang was also at a loss, then looked at old Zhu, who was a little shocked in front of him, and said slowly. "How did the core inscription of your life come from?" "According to my guess, it shouldn't be condensed by you, it's a bit like inheriting from others." Zhu Lao also stared at the core inscription of the divine life in front of him. When Xiao Yang heard the words, he also looked at it carefully. The core inscription in front of Xiao Yang was originally a square rune the size of a fist, but when Xiao Yang summoned it this time, Xiao Yang abruptly discovered that the size of the core inscription of divine movement was impressive. With the size of his own palm, it has grown several times compared to before, and Xiao Yang can feel that the spiritual power in his body is continuously increasing, which must be related to the core inscription of the divine movement. "I got this core inscription of life from a certain ruin." Xiao Yang also answered truthfully. "Relics? What ruins?" Zhu Lao heard the words, and his tone also became extremely loud, apparently found something. "I remember that the nameless old man didn't seem to say his name in the end. But this core inscription of my natal life seems to be named Spirit." Xiao Yang also thought about it carefully and said, "God move." Zhu Lao also shook his head, and then he didn't stop there too much. After all, from Zhu Lao's eyes, he knew that Zhu Lao didn't know the core inscription of this ***** move. "Although I don't know the strength of the core inscription of your life, I don't think it's too weak. I'll tell you about the rank and some things about this battle formation master." You read, Zhu Lao also spoke slowly, but Xiao Yan could also see that the strong man in front of him was in a very emotional mood. Happy, after all, there is nothing in this world more happy than to find a person who is connected with the same vein. Okay. Xiao Yang was very excited when he heard the words. When he came to the Fenxiang Pavilion, what troubled Xiao Yang the most was his spiritual power and this fighting formation master. After all, Xiao Yang's use of spiritual power and fighting formation master was no different from that of a layman. Spiritual power is different from soul power, but it complements soul power. The cultivation of spiritual power is divided into 7 levels. Ningwen, formation, immortal master, celestial master, earth master, emperor master, holy master. Condensing the text is the first step to becoming a battle formation master. You have the qualifications to cultivate spiritual power, open up Nigong Wan, and condense the core inscriptions of your life. The formation of an array is the second step, which is to master the core inscriptions familiarly, and then condense a formation to besiege or attack the enemy. As for the other 5 levels, they also represent their enormous spiritual power. As for the ranks of Do formation masters, it is the same 10th rank, but the promotion of each rank depends on spiritual power, and the strength of Do formation masters is also related to the number of core inscriptions that appear from spiritual power. The more core inscriptions that are condensed, the more terrifying the formation you cast. After Zhu Lao finished speaking, he slowly laughed. When Xiao Yang heard this, he also carefully tasted what Zhu Lao said. "Old Zhu, where is your rank?" The next moment, Xiao Yang seemed to remember something, and hurriedly asked. His pupils became extremely hot. Since this old Zhu knows so many secrets, his own strength is undoubtedly extremely terrifying. He, you kid knows what to say to me. But it's okay to tell you. My spiritual power has entered the level of a celestial master. As for the Do formation master, I have also set foot on the 6th grade Do formation master. Zhu Lao also smiled slowly, as if he was speaking in bland and unremarkable words. Heavenly Master. After the spiritual power has set foot on the immortal master, it is able to compete with the strong immortal warriors. As for this celestial master, who is more powerful than the immortal master, it must be even more terrifying. 6th rank battle formation master. The strength of the formation displayed by the 6th rank battle formation master is terrifying and comparable to that of some fighting immortal level powerhouses. Xiao Yang was also extremely shocked in his heart. What, little guy, you're shocked? Elder Zhu also noticed that Xiao Yang's eyes were a little dull, and he spoke slowly, with some tenderness in his voice. Senior. With your spiritual power at the level of a celestial master, I am afraid that some ordinary fighting immortals will not be your opponents. Xiao Yang also spoke with difficulty, because even though Xiao Yang had a high valuation of Zhu Lao, but now the fact is right in front of you, and it's hard to believe. There is such a terrifying power hidden in the depleted body of Zhu Lao. If you have cultivated your spiritual power to the level of an immortal master, you are qualified to compete with a half-immortal, or a powerhouse, who has just stepped into the level of fighting immortals. As for the celestial master, he also has the qualifications to fight against immortal fighters. As far as I'm concerned, even if you can't defeat an ordinary 1-star, or 2-star fighting immortal powerhouse, you can still remain invincible. Elder Zhu also thought about it for a while, and then said solemnly. The Do formation master is so terrifying. Xiao Yang also murmured. Obviously Xiao Yang also knew that the strength of the old Zhuo in front of him should still be at the level of Do Di. At most a 9-star Do Di strong. Do Xian strong will definitely not. But what shocked Xiao Yang the most was the huge spiritual power of Elder Zhu in front of him. With the special occupation of Do formation master, and the strength of the 9-star Do emperor, even fighting against a Do Xian strong be invincible. You You don't have to be too ambitious, and your future achievements will not be lower than mine. Elder Zhu also comforted Xiao Yang. Teacher, I'll have to thank you for taking care of me from now on. Xiao Yang also laughed slowly. Until this moment, Xiao Yang was also convinced by the old Zhu in front of him. The next moment, Xiao Yang also focused his attention on the core inscription of the White Divine Movement natal life hanging in front of him. I think the core inscription of your life is also very strange. Every time I probe his interior, I will be bounced off by a strange force. Although I don't know why, the core inscription of your life gives me the feeling that it's like the ocean, like a deep abyss, like a prison. Zhu Lao also stared at the core inscription of the divine life in front of Xiao Yang and slowly scrutinized it. Hearing this, Xiao Yang also frowned, because the condensation of this core inscription is largely from the mysterious scroll Old Man. Now that Old Man is also an unknown old man, there is no way to talk about it, but the only thing that is known is the core inscription just a quarter. Etc. The core inscription of your life seems to be a little incomplete. Zhu Lao also shrank his pupils tightly, and then closed his eyes suddenly. At the same time, a huge spiritual force also emerged from Zhu Lao's body in an instant. As soon as the spiritual power emerged, it rushed towards Xiao Yang's inscription on the core of his divine life. The next moment, Zhu Lao's spiritual power also passed through the core inscription of Shendong's life. No wonder. Elder Zhu also withdrew his mental strength the next moment, and then smiled slowly. Cough, cough. Xiao Yang was also extremely shocked. Obviously, when Elder Zhu's huge mental power appeared just now, Xiao Yang also found that compared with that mental power, he was as small as an ant. The core inscription of your life should be incomplete. Elder Zhu also said to Xiao Yang. When I got this scroll in the ruins, an unknown old man opened up Ni Gong Wan for me, and the core inscription of the divine movement was also given to me by the unknown old man. The nameless old man also said back, then that the core inscription of the divine movement is only a quarter. Xiao Yang also tried his best to recall. He, don't worry, none of this is important, and it won't affect your spiritual power cultivation. As long as you cultivate well, I will solve these things for you. Elder Zhu also said slowly, with extremely confident pride in his voice. The disciple thanked the teacher first. Xiao Yang heard the words and glanced at the Elder Zhu in front of him gratefully. Obviously, in terms of the status of the Elder Zhu, it seemed that he was a condescending elder to serve as the elder in the burning incense pavilion. However, he didn't think too much, because the old man in front of him was also Xiao Yang's teacher, so Xiao Yang didn't care about the teacher's thoughts. Take it back. Looking at how vague your spiritual power cultivation is, have you mastered the way to cultivate spiritual power? Old Zhu also frowned, and then he felt the somewhat disordered spiritual power in Xiao Yang's body. This? Old Zhu, my spiritual power cultivation is completely a layman. There is no correct way to cultivate spiritual power, so the progress is so slow. Xiao Yang said helplessly, after all, if he had known the cultivation method of spiritual power earlier www.novelhall.com with Xiao Yang's temperament, his current mental strength is not weak. It's no wonder you. After all, there are so few Do formation masters, even in the entire continent, so very little is known about the cultivation methods of this spiritual power. But I see that your spiritual power has initially entered the level of a formation. You can rely on your own exploration to enter the formation, which is enough to show your deep understanding of the Do formation master. Zhu Lao was also quite relieved. Old Zhu, the way to cultivate spiritual power. Xiao Yang also said. The cultivation of spiritual power is different from the cultivation of your pharmacist's soul power, and it is also different from the cultivation of vindictiveness. The cultivation of spiritual power depends on meditation, or to absorb the essence of the sun and the moon. After Zhu Lao finished speaking, he also put on a rather sophisticated look, and then stared at Xiao Yan tightly. Meditation. Absorb the essence of the sun and the moon. Xiao Yan was also the first to hear about the cultivation method of spiritual power, and he was immediately puzzled. Okay, let's go here first today. I'll teach you the extra things when we come back from the Xianling Emperor Pond. Today, our burning incense pavilion seems to have guests. After Lao Zhu finished speaking, the wooden door of the house quietly opened, and then he looked into the distance. At the same time, there were several uninvited guests outside the burning incense pavilion and burning heaven territory. There was a group of 5 people. The leader was a burly man, with a very conspicuous scar on his left eye, and the other 4 slowly followed behind. Is it right here? A man with a fierce aura also said slowly to the people around him. Reporting to the 6th prince, the 3 people who are eligible to enter our Xianling Emperor Pond for immersion this time are in it. A follower also said slowly. Since it's on the way this time, let me take them back. The man known as the 6th prince also said slowly, but there was a strong contempt in his voice. Obviously for the 3 most outstanding Miaozi felt strange to join the burning incense pavilion, and even if they joined the burning incense pavilion, they still had to go to soak in the extremely precious Xianling Emperor Pond in their Xianling imperial family. That is the Xianling Emperor Pond. Even their direct descendants are not qualified to enter. The only way to enter is only those who have made great contributions to the Xianling royal family. Du He, the 6th prince of the Xianling royal family, is a powerful man in the late stage of the 5-star Do Di. What kind of people are these people? How can the lions open their mouths to ask our Xianling royal family to come up with 3 qualifications? Du He is also extremely puzzled. Obviously, he is outside all year round, and he is also concerned about some of the current Xianling royal family. The form is also unclear. Reporting to the 6th prince, these 3 people participated in the points looting competition and made great contributions to the fight against the twin ghost emperors. Therefore, they have united the powerhouses of the 9 super sects, and they will definitely give it together. The entourage also continued, the 3 behind the back. The position is more like a guard, protecting the 6 princes. It doesn't matter, let's go in first. Du He also shook his head, and then suddenly urged his grudge. 6th prince, absolutely. The sky above each of these sects is forbidden. If you forcibly break in, even if you are the 6th prince of the Xianling royal family, these sects have sufficient reasons to kill you. The entourage was also frightened. Then he said to the 6th prince, why is it so troublesome? Du He also stared slightly at the red-hot burning heaven territory, and a faint wave emanated from it. It seemed that what his entourage said was true. 6th prince, let's forget it. The 3 of them going to the Xianling royal family will definitely be led by their strong Fenxiang pavilion. After all, the relationship between our Xianling imperial family and the Fenxiang pavilion is also. Let's not get involved. The attendant also whispered. Since you are here, you must not return empty-handed. Du He also said plainly, as if the breath just disappeared, revealing the dignity and elegance that a prince should have. But it's not like you don't know the temper of our King Xianling. If it doesn't work out. The attendant was also extremely worried. Enough. I have the final say here. Du He also said angrily. Hey. These 6 princes are still so confused to win the respect of King Xianling. Dangtang burning incense pavilion, isn't it something you can shake as a mere 5-star fighting emperor in the late stage? The entourage also slowly retreated behind Du He, and then slowly looked at the sky above burning Tianyu. He has already notified the people of the burning incense pavilion, and he will surely come out to greet them soon. Old bamboo. This is. Xiao Yan also relied on his huge soul power to sense the 5 do he, and then turned his head to look at Zhu Lao. It's okay, let's bask him for a while. You go and call those Mu Yingying and Mu Feng. It's better to hit the sun if you choose another day. Today we will follow them to the Xianling royal family. The effect of the Xianling Emperor Pond is quite peculiar. Elder Zhu also smiled slowly. Yes. Xiao Yang agreed, then slowly exited the room and walked towards Wuzhuju. At this time, Xiao Yang also did not care about the cultivation method of spiritual power or other things. After all, it was more important to soak in the Xianling Emperor Pond. Because the Xianling royal family seems to have a relationship with Xingyang. Even Xiao Yang had a bold guess. It is very likely that Xingyang is in the Xianling royal family. Do he, the 6th prince of the Xianling royal family. Elder Zhu also said slowly, then with a movement, he instantly disappeared into his wooden house. Damn burning incense pavilion. Du He originally waited quietly outside the burning heaven territory, but minutes passed by, and people from the burning incense pavilion were not seen coming out to greet him, which made him extremely unhappy. After all, what are you talking about? Du He is also a dignified prince. Wherever he goes, he is not a servile and courteous person. When and where did he receive this kind of treatment? It seems that the relationship between the burning incense pavilion and our Xianling royal family will only be more serious than I imagined. The follower also sighed slowly. After all, he is only a lowly follower, and he knows very little about the relationship between the two. But one thing this follower can be sure of is that the 6th prince will definitely not be able to eat and walk around, because the background of the burning incense pavilion is extremely terrifying. Fenxiang Pavilion, why don't you come out to meet this king? The 6th prince, Du He, was also full of breath, and then gathered his fighting spirit into a voice, which spread mightily outside the Fenxian territory. Who am I supposed to be? It turned out to be King Xuanling's dog son. A strange voice also slowly appeared beside Du He. Then the next moment, Du He also felt that the source of the voice came from all directions in front of him. And he couldn't find the source of the sound at all, which made Du He a little scared. In this case, there is only one possibility, then the person who came here at this time is much stronger than himself. We don't welcome people from the Xianling royal family here. Tell me, do you want to kill yourself here, or do I do it? After speaking, an old man dressed in plain clothes also slowly appeared outside the burning heaven domain tilde, and then the smiling old man Du Hawu people. When Du He and the other 5 saw the old man, a fearful thought also occurred spontaneously, and the next moment, they turned around and ran away without looking back. Because the 5 of them all felt the real killing intent from this old man. Damn it. This is an accident. Du He also stopped with a few people around him when he had escaped some distance, because they discovered that the space outside the burning heaven territory was actually banned by the old man. 6th prince, you go first. The 3 guards beside him also said to Du He. Although Du He is eager to make a contribution, their responsibility is to protect the 6th prince, even if it is shattered. Let's do it. Elder Zhu also spoke slowly. It seems that the relationship between Lao Zhu and the Xianling royal family seems to be worse than I thought. Xiao Yang also secretly said, at the same time, the 3 of them, Mu Feng and Mu Yingying, were also rushing out of the burning heaven territory. Elder Dangtang burning incense pavilion is actually embarrassing a junior like me, so I'm not afraid of others laughing at it when it spreads. Du He also knew that there was no hope of escape, and immediately said in a deep voice. This is all learned from your father Wang. You brought it into our burning incense pavilion sect without authorization, in an attempt to steal the secrets of my sect. Is this reason enough? Die. After Elder Zhu finished speaking, an extremely terrifying wave slowly radiated out. This video will end here.